Hello, everyone. I'm back again once more with legendary author Owen Quinn.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be a legend.
Legendary mythical figure of Owen.
So was a unicorn in the shed, the last one, didn't I?
I don't know. So today we're going to answer some random questions that we got. So the topics might go a little all over the place, which can be fun. So Owen, are you ready for the very first question? So I know what the questions are because I compiled them, but Owen has not a clue what we're
I've,
going.
I've deliberately asked them not to um, tell me because I think it's much more fun to just sort of get them there and then, like a
100%
quick fire thing.
spontaneous.
Yeah.
Right, so the first question, I'm not going to read out who sent them in because some people double up on questions. But there is one I'm going to shout out, but we'll get to that. Um, so, first question, and this relates back to our knock at the cabin video. Um, what are your top three M. Night Shyamalan movies?
Uh,
I'm going to let you answer first so you can briefly list them out and then you can elaborate after, and we'll see if our opinions line up because we might differ quite a bit on this.
um, I actually don't think I have three.
No?
No.
Well, what would be number one?
What? Well, number one. I think I right away told you what probably that would be Signs
Yeah.
for me. So I've seen it actually featured the other night on something on the Instagram. Um, Signs for me definitely would be the top. That's the one I would rewatch again and again.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
Probably a Sixth Sense would probably be everybody's usual number one, but um, I just have a thing about one trick pony films because I've watched it. I don't need to watch it again. It's a bit like the Knock on the Cabin. Um, Trap is quite good. Um,
haven't seen it.
I can give it a second. You can give it a second watch because it's not your usual, oh my God, the twist isn't the crux of the film. The film is how does he get out of a massive trap in a stadium, which is an advert for M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
Yeah.
Good that she is, but that's what the film is. The twist is actually almost incidental
Yeah.
for Trap, but it was an enjoyable film, and
Do you
I
know what?
watched it twice.
We'll give a spoiler warning in case you want to go into more detail in a second. So there'll be spoiler warnings for a lot of the stuff we talk about.
Yeah, yeah. Because at the end of the day, folks, you all know when the thing was released. If you haven't watched it, catch up with the rest of the world.
Trap, is that
Says
the
him,
one where
says me,
it turns out Bruce Willis is the
Josh.
criminal?
Aye, that one. Aye, that one. Bruce's wee lad. Uh, and I'm a hypocrite because I actually discovered a film the other day, which is 2 years old and didn't know about,
Yeah.
and it was the most awesome film I've seen. Do you remember we were talking about finding little gems?
Yeah.
This was a little gem. I swear it's that good. I'm watching it again. I'm doing an article on the site about it because it's really really good.
What's it called?
But anyway, Unhuman.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's sort of like watch a trailer, you go, oh, it's just another zombie movie. No, it's not. Far from it.
there's more
Far
to
from
it.
it. A lot more to it. Yeah. But yeah, I'd say Signs, The Sixth Sense, and probably probably Trap because I'm
Right.
not that fussed on Unbreakable.
Right. And is that your just personal enjoyment, or do you think that quality wise they line up that way?
Well, quality wise, I mean, you can't really fault Signs because it's really for me. I know other people do because I had not an argument, but a discussion with somebody. Oh, it's crap. It's not crap. It's like the reverse Independence Day, but it's told from a grieving person's point of view and what it actually means to have family. Um, the Sixth Sense, you can't fault. It's so well shot. If you haven't picked up on the twist, it does hit you like a brick.
Yeah.
sorry, Alex, for the brick analogy, but if you listen to our next podcast, you'll understand that reference.
You mean our last one?
But the last one, okay, I see all
we're
this time.
we're
Every
we're
year is the same to a time warrior.
we're
You know how it is.
we're on a different timeline than everyone else at the
We're on a
moment.
different timeline to everyone. But yeah, I mean, the way it's shot, the way it's set up, and I didn't notice the first time round until the wee lad said, we said at the end, or you know who he said at the end. Um, and then it all made sense. I thought, oh, that was actually quite clever. But I've seen it. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what I like. I like films where I can put them on the background when I'm writing, or if I'm got really bored and go, I know what I could watch. I'm not. It'll hold my attention.
yeah.
So Signs is that for me. Um, yeah, Signs. I near call it I see dead people. The Sixth Sense. And probably Trap
Okay,
would
mine.
be the three for me.
Yeah, for me, I rewatched The Sixth Sense this Halloween, as I said before, and I really like it. I think it's very well written, very well directed. I would say it's by quite a margin in terms of pure quality his best. Now, I haven't watched some in a while, so that could change, but I can't imagine the rest of them are better than this. I so rewatching it, knowing the twist, I actually quite enjoyed it. I think if you give yourself a bit of time, a few years in between, and you watch it again with the twist in mind, it can be interesting to watch and just pick up on little things.
Yeah, you'd be looking to see the bits,
Yeah.
knowing that he's dead. You'll see where he's in the
Is he?
same. Oh, shut up. Uh, what what does the word spoilers mean? I think to you. Um, you'll see him sitting in the room with the woman, and then when you see him talking and her not reacting, it all starts to make sense.
Yeah,
Whereas, yeah, so it is very well executed
yeah. Like
completely. I think it probably
they
probably
say,
is his best setup film.
yeah. I mean, it says in the movie that he like when you're dead, you don't allow yourself to know you're dead. So that's
Yeah.
that's a good reason. That's a good like excuse for
which
s-
is which is common if you're watching the real life mediums. A lot of them will say it about certain spirits. That's why a lot of spirits are here because they don't know that they're dead. No, the likes of the Waverly Sanitarium, for example, one of the most haunted places and scariest places in America. I've seen a lot of um, obviously set up scares in there, but I've seen genuine ones where genuine people have went in and did get evidence they can't explain. Things happened. I wouldn't like to do it, even though I'd love to do it, but I wouldn't like to do it. Um, so there is that thing about ghosts, the spirits being not realizing they're dead and being stuck somewhere. So Bruce Willis is stuck around those people um, before he realizes that he actually should have moved on.
yeah. My next one would be Unbreakable. Again, I haven't seen it in a while, but from memory, I think I will put that at number two, and then number three, Signs. I think his first three, as I said from memory, are um his three best, just in terms of pure quality. Um, and I would say they probably go in that order. I would say Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs. I think for me.
Mm.
Sorry, someone started playing music at the back garden and it's just distracting me there. Not
What
much
sort of
like
music?
it's kind of like rave music. The sun's out,
Oh,
so I think they're having a barbecue. So that was just
oh, love a bit of a rave. Woohoo.
so yeah, there are answers. So really good question.
See,
Sorry, honorable mention just for pure entertainment value. The Happening.
yeah,
Have you seen The Happening?
Stephen, seriously.
It is so funny.
Would you like to buy me I'd like me to buy you a wee plant so you can talk to it in the corner? Yeah. Do you know I actually watched that? And I'm talking about just as I'm talking about being bored. I watched it a few weeks ago and I couldn't. Do you know what? I didn't mind it the first time round, but see when you watch it now, it is so bad.
I don't know how you
Mark
don't
Wald.
notice that the first time. The first time I
Oh, I
watched.
sort of, but I just thought, oh, that's an interesting concept.
Yeah,
Um, and then Mark Wahlberg is so bad to
he
be
is just
borderline.
he's so miscast in that one.
Excuse me.
Would you agree?
He's so I think. Well, I think he's miscast on a lot of things. To be perfectly honest with you, I think he's very overrated.
Except when he's
Um,
playing a Boston cop.
ugh,
But
or is that not his brother, Danny?
I think it's him as well. Doesn't he play a
Is that
Boston
Blue?
cop?
Is he dead too? Oh, I don't know because I switch off. Like the thing is, I'll watch what he's in for the most part. There's things I haven't watched,
Yeah.
but I just think he's so overrated, and he just didn't fit that at all.
No.
That movie.
Some
Um,
people have defended it, saying that it's intentionally like
no,
that, and I don't buy that at all.
no, neither do I. That's a load of crap.
Yeah.
Nobody sets out to be deliberately thing. You think you're doing the right thing. Sometimes you don't do the right thing, and in that case, it's not the right thing.
Yeah.
Um, there is some, I mean, there is some great imagery in it, like the people falling
Mm.
from the buildings. And that's frightening. And just as we're talking about Final Destination, they're still in the field and the wind blowing through the grass, and you're sort of like, oh, it's a bit no, because you know the spores are carried on the wind and stuff that's killing people.
Yeah.
There's some spooky stuff in it, but I think overall it's just no, Mark Wahlberg doesn't help it.
No.
It's a very weak story, and I think even the twist at the end was like, would you not? Why would it just start up again somewhere else? If you thought this was going to happen, surely it would. If the plants would be doing it all at the same time across the globe, rather than it
Mm.
starts in. I think it's Paris at the end. Is it
Was it
where it starts up again?
Paris or Moscow? I can't remember.
It's one of the two. But I just thought, no, that's not it. No, I didn't know.
But you have to watch that movie, ironically. It's the only way to enjoy it.
No, I know what you do. Drinking game.
Every time Mark
That
Wahlberg makes
that's
you laugh.
drinking because his forehead as he's got older has become like Gordon Ramsay's forehead. So that wrinkly one. So
Right.
he must have done that to get some Botox to get that
Listen, we'll all be there one day.
lovely head in. Speak for yourself.
Okay, next question. Do you plan on watching House of the Dragon? Owen, have you seen House of the Dragon yet?
He used to go with a girl that was a dragon, but
Well, we'll have that as a
well,
separate
that's
episode.
another story. That's another episode. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've watched the first couple because I'm such a huge fan of Matt Smith. Love Matt Smith.
Right.
He was the perfect Doctor Who, and I thought Morbius was good because he was a good villain. I like Matt Smith, and that's it. But I watched House of Dragon the first two, and there he was doing naughty things with ladies,
Yeah.
and I went, oh, "You wouldn't do that in the TARDIS." I'm telling you, you get your sonic screwdriver back in. No, wouldn't be bothered with
Actually,
that. Wasn't fussed.
no spoilers for House of the Dragon because I haven't seen it yet.
Don't you ask about it for?
Because it was a question. I have no choice.
Okay, Matt Smith wasn't shagging.
Yeah, the ultimate spoiler.
Do you know what? Do you know my whole? I know the world is mad in Game of Thrones. I know this is a Game of Thrones prequel. Is it prequel?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like Game of Thrones um, at all. I watched the first season um, and wasn't particularly caught. I
Yeah.
watched it because Jason Momoa was in it. Love Jason Momoa.
Do you know what? I
Um,
completely forgot he was in it. Yeah.
yeah, Jason.
Yeah.
I was. Do you remember Jason in Stargate Atlantis?
I never watched it, but I remember him in it from clips and stuff.
That's where me and the wife sort of became fans of his.
Hmm.
Apparently did Baywatch and stuff as well. But at Stargate Atlantis, he was Ronan, and he was amazing. Next thing, at Game of Thrones. Of course, he is now where he is, about to become Lobo. But
Yeah.
um, he was good in Game of Thrones. Sean Bean was very good. They're all very good, but the story didn't
It did.
grab me at all.
It didn't grip you.
I just no. And then everybody I talked to, all were suddenly, it was like The Happening, where I was the Mark Wahlberg character and everybody else was affected by the plants. um, And I was the only one going, I don't like Game of Thrones. And they go, you have to watch Game of Thrones. I go, why? I didn't like it. But you have to give it a chance and you have to wait till the dragons come in. I says, well, if it's exciting and when the dragons come in, why don't they put them in season one? Oh, but that's just to build up to the dragons. I says, but I don't want 10 episodes of
Yeah,
a build up to dragons. If you don't get me from day one, maybe day two, three, then you don't get me.
yeah,
I did try it. I tried it twice. X-Files grabbed me from day one.
yeah,
Odyssey 5, Threshold, Walking Dead, um, The Hunting Party, which is a new series it's on. They all got me from the start, but I never get into Game of Thrones. I was never caught up in the frenzy of that, and suddenly everybody. I sort of feel those things. I just I knew people who were local working in TV, and then, oh my God, this is so good for the Northern Irish economy. And it was, but I know quite a few local people who were sort of snubbed in favor of it. But that was just by the by. I was never. I went to the studio tour because I think you have to go just to see it. Because if you're into this stuff like we are, it doesn't matter what it is. If there's an exhibition close to you, go watch it. Go
yeah,
see it. Doesn't change my opinion of the show. I just think there's two. I've seen bits and pieces, and then when everybody was just talking about the ending and how bad the ending was, um, it didn't inspire me at all. Do love dragons, I love dragons,
yeah,
but I just, for me, Game of Thrones didn't do it for me.
yeah.
Um, but so House of Dragons, I gave it a go because of Matt Smith, but I just thought no. I
Yeah,
love the look of them with the white hair. It's very, it's almost there's the main villain and the main monsters in Stargate Atlantis called the Wraith, and they're very similar with that white, long white hair. They're very scary. But no, I didn't. I did. This didn't. It just doesn't grab me attention, either of them,
I
for some reason.
I think certainly the first three seasons of Game of Thrones. I have not watched them in a long time,
Mm.
but the first three seasons I thought were really, really, really good. And then after
Yeah,
that, I think it becomes a mixed bag. But I think from memory, I think the first three seasons were fantastic. Um,
yeah,
I don't think they finished the series very well at all, and that put me off kind of wanting to check out anything after that. But I do hear the first season of House of the Dragon is very good, so I absolutely plan on
yeah.
checking it out at some stage. I hear season two
Like,
is affected by the writer's strike, I believe.
so I think everything wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the quality dips because of some issues like that. But I hear season one is very good, and when Game of Thrones was good, it was very, very good. So yeah, I will check it out.
Now, complete hypocrite. I am a complete hypocrite
Why is that?
because I'm going to tell you my story. I have a couple of wee stories.
Well, you
I
get
know
one. You get one story.
I could put you in between. Um, I did go and meet is it the zombie Ice King?
Yeah,
Yeah, what do you call it? The Night Watch or
the
something?
Night King.
The Night King, that's the very one. I went and met him and got my photograph with him. And my son and my wife are huge Game of Thrones fans. We
Mm,
do have all sorts of Game of Thrones Funkos and stuff. And we have a crew jacket that somebody gave my wife because my son was a fan. So we have a genuine crew jacket, which is never going to be sold. But we did go and meet the Night King. He was very nice because later on I found out he was in Tremors 5 and he was also in Supernatural, which is another favorite of mine. And I can't remember his name, shame on me. So it was lovely. He signed his Funko, the Night Watchman Funko. So it was a great experience. And I met King Joffrey. So Owen got to meet him, get his photo and autograph. But there was a fella, I can't remember his name, but his queue was empty and he ended up joining some sort of religious cult in it and got something carved into his forehead. So he wanted 25 quid just to take a photo with him. I went, I'm not paying 25 quid, but I might as well get it. So I went up, I said, Zach, hello to yourself. I said, remember we met in London? I got your autograph and all, but I forgot to get your photograph up there. He says, not a problem. So he let me take his photograph with him for free. So I got away without paying 25 quid. So that's my Game of Thrones
nice,
stories.
excellent.
I am such a fraud.
You're such a sham, Owen. You heard it
I
here. You
am.
heard it here first, folks.
I'm a celebrity tart. There you go. That's all I'm saying.
There's worse things it could be. All right, next question. Recommend an animated movie. Go for it, Owen. Recommend.
Uh,
If you think back to the last
what
episode
do
we
you?
did, which was
Yeah,
it
I
was
know that's what came to mind there.
yeah,
That's trying to right. Well, for me, it would be Beauty and the Beast.
nice,
Have to be Beauty and the Beast,
great
and
film.
I'll tell you for why. One, I just love Beauty and the Beast. The story. Um, it's the only movie that makes me cry, even though it's like a happy ending.
The Happening
That
made
that
me
bit,
cry.
for different reasons, but that's called hay fever. um, that bit where he's down at the end and she's holding him and the last petal of the rose
Yeah,
drops. I am in pieces.
brilliant.
Oh my God, yeah.
So it's
It
effective
must
for
be in
you.
the yeah. I think it happens you get older, you get things become a bit more free. So I seem to cry a lot of stuff.
Just fluids
But
start
being
coming
in
out of everywhere.
the fluid, well, I was trying not to say incontinent, but I didn't want to say that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. The older I got, the more easier I cry at stuff. But Beauty and the Beast, there's just something about that. Everything, just the way it's done, the characters,
The
the
music's
songs
excellent.
still amazing, amazing. But that last bit, even though it's going to be okay, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah,
Um, for me, that's and as I said to you earlier, I did see. We weren't talking about the questions. Just want to say we're talking about earlier. We just happened to be talking about Disney animated movies. The live version was almost as good, but I didn't cry at it. But
mm.
the cartoon always makes me cry. And I did see a couple of guys. One was dressed as the Beast, one was dressed as Ballad at a Comic Con here in Belfast. Straight over, awesome, and it was so good of a costume.
Yeah.
Um, if I was to pick another one, I'd pick another one. Uh,
I'll give a pick and then you can think of another one.
right, you go.
So I'd recently seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. The animation's great. The writing's really, really good. It's got one of the best antagonists I've seen in a long time. I won't spoil it. It becomes very obvious early on, but the antagonist is really badass. He's a wolf. Um, but I thought it was such a great movie. I'd absolutely recommend Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It was actually one of my favorite movies from that year in general. Just thought it was really, really solid.
I'm a bit stupid. Do you know why? Because you just popped my head. But the other animated film would be if it was my last film, be Shrek.
Ah,
Shrek,
Shrek's great.
love it, love it. Um, it's just there was nothing like it before, and just Eddie Murphy and Mike Myers. It's Cameron Diaz, I think, is
Yeah,
Fiona.
it was. Yeah,
Um, and then when we went second time we went to Florida, they had a Shrek person out dressed as Shrek, but you go round the back and talk to Donkey. So it was Donkey the head coming out of the stable, and he was exactly sounded exactly like Eddie Murphy. Fuck Freddie Murphy in there shit. So who's Freddie Murphy? That's his brother. Um, and he sounded just like Eddie Murphy, and it must have been a camera or something. You could see the kids, but him and our own were just was making not making fun of him, but that coming out with all these funny things,
yeah.
and it was just brilliant. It was just magical, and it's just that pick me, and I always do that. No one working to say, does anybody want that? I go pick me, pick me. But
My
well, depends what it's for.
since you picked two, I'll pick two. So Puss in Boots: The Last
Yeah,
Wish. I seen it relatively recently, so it's fresh in my head. Absolutely, go watch it. It's brilliant. And going further back to the 80s, the Transformers animated movie is absolutely brilliant. Still one of my favorite
can't be the
films.
bit about Transformers, but
Yeah, and it's to this day still got my favorite soundtrack.
Mm.
I think the songs are used perfectly in it, and I listen to them on Spotify regularly. So go watch Transformers and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and let us know what you thought about them.
It's a long time since I've actually watched the animated Transformers.
Oh, it's so good.
I haven't even watched Transformers one. Oh, the new one with Hemsworth.
Yeah, same.
I haven't watched that
I think
yet.
I stopped watching after the second one, second or third of the live action movies.
But
Um,
I've watched them all. Didn't like the last one.
yeah.
The animals. I just think it's
Oh,
done now. I
sorry. Yeah,
think.
Transformers One's the animated one you're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The one
No,
that was on Netflix, I think.
yeah. I'll probably give that a watch.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, live action wise, yeah, it's sort of run its course, I think.
yeah. I remember being so
Um,
excited to go see the first one in the cinema because
yeah,
I
they were
just
awesome.
fucking love Transformers. And then
Awesome.
the scene where someone's transforming and it plays the classic sound, I'm like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
But they take a massive dip in quality for sure.
Yeah. I'd say to them anything Scooby Doo
Ah,
would be my, because I always say that I go, my nephews and nieces are my youngest nephew Christopher is huge Ghostbusters fan. He's only 5.
brilliant.
He loves Ghost, has the costume and everything, has all the figures and things.
Ah,
But I said the girls would say, "Oh, we watched Frozen, we watched this, we watched that." I said, "No, what Scooby Doo?" No, I said, "Why not? We were brought up in Scooby Doo, so why are your children not watching Scooby Doo?"
yeah.
I said, "It's awesome."
Hmm.
And all look at me as if there's something mentally wrong with you. I said, "It's not the point. Scooby Doo. Don't be giving me your Garfields or your Ladybugs and all that rubbish. Scooby Doo and Shaggy.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Scooby
I
Doo
think
for
every kid should be
Scooby Doo
compulsory.
Scooby Doo for life.
Yeah, I am, but he is. But he's just brilliant. Just brilliant.
Right, next. What are your favorite Marvel movies?
Ach, now, well,
Just in
nothing,
general
nothing
for
recent. Nothing recent would be the quick answer to that one. um,
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, anything I think anything past
Endgame.
Infinity War. Endgame I thought I really enjoyed it, but it is very, very ropey in terms of writing and stuff like that. But I think that was the last one that I really cared about.
No, I tell a lie. The one about the rings,
Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi, that was very good, but there hasn't been a good one since.
Um
Well, for if I was going to go for fear, well, see, I would disagree with the Endgame. I thought Endgame was just blew me away. Um,
for me it
I'm
was
gonna.
just a lot of the see, it's hard when you've got so many characters and so many powers and you got time travel and this and that. It's very difficult to keep things consistent. So I don't envy anyone who has that task. And I just think there's a lot of plot issues because of that. But I did enjoy it. I thought, it did give me that nostalgic feeling and all that. But
Yeah.
in terms of quality, I think there's a lot wrong with it. I think Infinity War is much more solid.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe we'll
Mm.
talk about it one time in a
Maybe,
video.
maybe, maybe go out the back and have a punch up in the alley and get hit by a brick like Alex.
I'm
Sorry, Alex. Brick. Yeah. Um,
I'm not
I
brave enough
see.
to take you on.
I'm not. See, I don't see it. You're saying nostalgia. That's not the word that comes to mind when I watch Endgame. If I'm going to do three, I'll tell you three I've watched. Well, it's going to be four. There's a constant. It'll be Civil War, Endgame, Ragnarok.
Oh,
Now, I thought right now, not the other crap Thor one.
no.
Guardians of the Galaxy would
Oh,
be that be those four.
that's a great pick.
The first one. But Endgame for me wasn't about nostalgia. It was about um, how do you resolve how do you come back? The biggest flaw most shows and TV series face is you build yourself up to such a massive cliffhanger. How do you write yourself out of it to give a satisfying end? Like Star Trek Next Generation, Best of Both Worlds. did that with that superb cliffhanger. Mark melted. How do you do it? It was a half-assed resolution because all the good stuff that built into it, like the cutest had a personal force shield, and suddenly it disappeared in the second episode.
Yeah.
So he was easily saved. For me, they did what they needed to do. There was nothing nostalgic for me. Uh, The only bit I did about right, I was in Newry Cinema watching it because it was the anniversary of my kidney transplant. Um, and there was these kids up the back with us, and I had all my nephews and stuff, my brother, watching it, and they were shouting out the minute they come on. They were talking all the way before it even started, so they were being rowdy. And then the minute it started, somebody shouted out when Tony Stark came on, "Oh, he's gonna die!" So I was up by them saying, "You out!" So I went and got the ushers and all. I
Wow.
was spoiling it for everybody, fucking
So they
bastards.
completely
So
spoiled it
that,
on you.
yeah, well, not for me. I already knew. It was the kids that were with me.
Yeah.
Fucking arseholes.
Yeah.
But it was that bit when on your left and they all came back. That was me. I was back to being in a beast mode. Tears was
Yeah.
tripping me. I was like, oh my God. And then when Tony Stark died and she came over and she said, it's okay, you can go now. Oh, they had to carry me out. There was four ushers tripping over popcorn to get me out the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was so. That's why I love that film because it got me in that way.
This,
Not because I'd read comics all my life and I have read them all my life. I've loved them,
yeah.
but there was something resonated in that and
Yeah.
that particular.
Some of the emotional payoffs were effective,
Yeah,
but
that Tony's, and I'm glad they cut the scene where he met his daughter in heaven. That didn't need to be there. They just ended up where it needed to be.
yeah.
Because I know somebody in real life whose parent died, and that was the same comedy. She says, "Can I go now?" And she says, "Yes, you can go now." And I
Uh,
knew. So when I heard that in the Endgame movie, I went, "That's me! Oh wow!"
yeah. Well,
So
that's
that's what got me in to see everybody come back.
yeah.
Um, one at a time was just amazing. It was amazing. It was brilliant. It was one of them historic fan moments in movie history that everybody's going to remember. And that music and the soundtrack, fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean that kind of ties into my one of my first picks would be the original Iron Man. Um,
Mm.
I mean, you know, largely because it was the first, and I was so excited to go see it, and
Yeah.
I had a blast watching. I was, oh, this is so good, and then like you find out they're building up to a big team and stuff like that. So one of my picks would be Iron Man. I'm not necessarily saying it's the best, although I do think it's one of the really good, you know, quality ones.
Yeah. I
Um,
suppose if you hadn't got that, then none of the rest would. If the first one hadn't been a success, none
yeah,
of the rest would have happened.
yeah, and I absolutely loved Avengers when it came out. Um,
But yeah, I was gonna say Avengers, but I just thought, no, what it was good, but
yeah. Do you
didn't
know
make me
what?
cry good.
It's yeah, it needs to make you cry.
I think to make me cry.
Do you know what? Anymore, we'll rate movies out of tears.
So, oh, Titanic, don't even start me.
um, oh, Titanic bores me, but oh, never. But I do get it. I do get it.
Mm.
Avengers, like for the type of movie it is, and because there's so much to juggle, I think the writing is really, really strong, and I think that's impressive.
Yeah,
Um, so Iron Man, Avengers, Civil War, I think as well. I think
yeah.
the writing in that is really, really strong, and then just find it really entertaining as well. Like you got a big, large cast of characters. Um,
And they
there's
all have something to do, and they're all got equal spotlight, sort of thing.
yeah, yeah. There's like there's not much wasted.
No.
One you said, oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a great pick.
Mm.
I loved
Yeah,
that when it came out, and the soundtrack and everything, and the
yeah.
vibe. That's a really good pick. So I think they're my. I don't know if I'm leaving anything out, but it's
Well, the me and the wife went to see Guardians of the Galaxy in the cinema, and I knew of it from the cool comics,
yeah,
um, but we didn't expect it to be so good.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
was that, as you said, the soundtrack at the start. That was a bit, and then it came out. That was absolutely amazing,
yeah.
amazing. The
And
other only other one for me would be Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Oh, do you know what? I sometimes forget the Spider-Man movies because um, it always seems to be like, because Spider-Man wasn't kind of part of Marvel for a long time, so aren't they like a joint? There's something weird with the rights issues to that one, isn't there?
Yeah, it was Sony
Yeah,
have some of the rights, and then the rest of them have Tom Holland. So that's why you've got Venom
yeah,
in the other one. But they also brought the Vulture over from the Marvel universe to the Sony universe,
yeah,
the Michael Keaton one,
yeah.
to team up with Morbius. I still like Morbius.
Haven't seen
It
it,
was
but
always
I'd love to give it a go because I just wasn't interested. Like, there's just no other
yeah,
reason than I just didn't see it. It just didn't see it as being interesting. But
yeah.
maybe I'll give it a go and we'll give it a rundown.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, see, Morbius movie in the comics was always it was him and the Lizard, and those two were always my favorite. There was something about a vampire and a tortured vampire in the Spider-Man universe,
Yeah.
which I just found fascinating. And I loved the character. I did have a comic, the one that's worth a fortune. I had it. Oh my God.
Nice.
So many things I had. But Morbius always fascinated me, and I've always wanted to see it done well. It's not a perfect movie by any means,
Yeah.
to be honest.
But you
But I
enjoyed it.
mean, I enjoyed it because, well, yeah, Matt Smith for what they did, it could have done it been a whole lot better. But the Morbius bit worked for me.
I
And
heard
then of
that.
course the
Sorry, go on.
no, I can never say that they brought Craven into Sony, so Sony now is Craven, and
Yeah.
in the Craven movie they got the Rhino, Chameleon, somebody else I can't remember off the top of my head. So Sony's using the villains better, I think,
Right.
than Marvel are using the villains.
I'll have I'll
The
have to
the
catch up with a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean the Rhino that was in the Andrew Garfield second one was Paul thingy in the new Star Trek series. He was in a big rhino suit. In Craven, the rhino mutates
Mm-hmm.
into an actual rhino,
Yeah.
which is the way it should be. So I think it's all moving over to Marvel, but Sony could definitely, if they get the good writers and have a good universe set up there, like you could see Tom Holland in, and plus Venom has left part of himself in the Marvel universe at the end of the second Venom movie. So you've got the opportunity for him to come in through the Marvel door now as well.
Nice. I must give Venom 2 a look. The first one is not a great movie, but I did find it entertaining.
Mm. No, I haven't found any of them amazing, but I've liked them.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed them. The third one, when you had the multi symbiote battle, I was going, "That's very good, but we should be bigger. There should be more because there's far more symbionts than that."
Right.
But for what it was real. I liked him. Tom Hardy is brilliant. We can't fault Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock.
He was very
Um,
funny in it.
it's Yeah, and he's very funny in the third one as well, but also very. That's where it gets a bit serious as well. Um, they're just well done. But as you said, they're not amazing,
Right. Right. Next question.
but they're good.
So this one is from Brian Maxwell from Newton Bat Productions, who has sent in a couple of questions. So shout out to Brian. I'm a big fan of his work. He is the co-creator of the One Fall comic, a wrestling comic book. I've read issue 1 and 2, and I would highly recommend those. So shout out to Brian. Go support the lads. They put a lot of work into their comic. So his first question is, are you good at kicking? So I train with Northeast Taekwondo and I teach some of the sparring classes. So in theory should be good at kicking, but I would say I'm okay. I wouldn't say my kicks are fantastic.
Can you do that? Can you do that Van Damme thing where you throw your leg up on the kitchen counter?
Only if I get up with it.
I could do that.
Right.
I could do that.
Do you know?
When I was doing the martial arts, I was able to do that
Fair play.
and stay upright,
Yeah.
which was another miracle.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I'm flexible than your average person, but I train with a lot of fantastic kickers. So comparatively, no, I'm not as good as them. Um, And I started when I was a little bit older, so I'm still, you know, still a little stiff and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'd say I'm okay. I can set up a decent kick. I've scored some headshots in my time. So that's an excellent question from Brian. And then one that's kind of related also from Brian is name a fictional character you'd most like to kick. It's a great question.
Well, go first.
You go first.
No, I go. You go first. How I'd like to kick.
Yeah.
Does it have to be fictional?
Yeah, fictional character. You can't go around kicking real people, Owen.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Okay.
so for me, because
Fiction.
I've seen it recently, as we said before, where myself and Nicola are working our way through classic Disney movies. That fella from Pinocchio who takes all the kids and turns them into donkeys. I'd love to give him a kick.
Is that island Epstein Island thing?
No, no, the film Pinocchio.
No, Joe. Yeah, no, I know that. I know what I know it's not an Epstein Island, but you know what I mean. Whoever was saying the scene in Pinocchio about the kids being taken to the island,
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. He
We're
takes them
saying
and
that.
he gives them a drink that turns them into donkeys, which is absolutely fucking horrifying. There's one
Yeah.
scene that like
That,
scared the shit out of me when I was a kid when
yeah.
Pinocchio's
That's
friend,
a
Pinocchio's friend Lampwick is turning into a donkey, and he's crying for his mother and stuff. Like it's actually fucking horrifying.
yeah. That's what they're saying. That's the talking point about that whole Epstein thing came out with something similar. Disney was trying to warn people even back then of places like that.
Oh, is that what that's
But I
about?
don't know about you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
that.
I thought I didn't listen. It's been that long since I've seen Pinocchio. I had forgotten about it.
So good.
I only remember, but I remember the wheel and all that. But it got no strings. Like that one.
Great tune.
Um,
That's the one. I believe that was Disney's second feature after Snow White. I think. But yeah, Pinocchio was great. So I would kick that
they
fella.
were
He
awesome.
deserves a kick. I'm sure there's loads that I haven't thought of. But Owen, what fictional character would you most like to kick?
I maybe you should have given me this question in advance.
I told you.
Who would I fix the character like to
What's the
kick?
first one that comes to your head? Even if it's not the most, what's kind of recent where you feel like, oh, I'd love to give them a kick? One of your
Uh,
Van Damme kicks.
what do you call him? The bullies in Back to the Future.
Yes.
What do you call him? Biff,
Biff.
Biff,
I hate
Biff.
manure.
Anybody? Yeah, I hate bullies. And every time I see a bully in a movie, I want them to get the shit knocked out of them.
I think a lot of people can relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Biff, even Biff's sort of a comedy one, but there's like, oh God. There was, I can see the clip in my head and I can't remember the name of the movie. Um, Karate Kid, actually. But given Cobra Kai, I know it was Johnny
Lawrence.
from the movie, but you would probably know all these people. Cobra Kai switched it where Danny LaRusso was the asshole,
I
and he
seen
was a
that.
bit of a bully compared to the Johnny became the anti-hero.
Yeah.
But if it had been young Johnny, it'd probably been Krish, if that's pronounced properly.
Crease.
Martin Cobra,
Yeah.
Kreese. I would give him a good kick in the nuts. Anybody that bullies and
Yeah.
hurts, anybody that hurts children, could you just slap the child catcher would be another one.
Yeah.
I would say, like, what sort of, or the owl doll and gremlins. So my boy comes out and just as a miserable old bollocks and just tries to, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus, life's too short. Have a bit of fun, enjoy it. If a kid puts a football into your garden, Jesus, that's all right. It's not the end of the world.
You'll be fine. Yeah.
Um, You'll be fine. Do you know what I mean? Enjoy what's there. And if there's kids laughing in the street, enjoy that because you don't want to hear children crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the one. That's the one social. I'm now running for my political party. Shoot the bullies. Um,
Vote for Owen.
Vote for Owen. But yeah, no, I just don't like miserable, horrible people who can connive and deliberately try and spoil other people's happiness because life's far too short.
Yeah.
So anybody And in fact, any body that would get you as riled up as that works, means it's working
They're doing
in the
something right.
movie.
Yeah.
They're doing something right. You just know, and yeah, that's who I'd give it a kick to.
So buzzkills
Um,
and anyone who hurts children,
yeah, basically, yeah,
especially ones
so,
who turn
yeah,
kids into donkeys. That's just
and the
that's
donkeys,
just bad form.
yeah. Um, and could I get my leg? What was that? Could I get a kick?
I,
In my martial arts days, yes, I could have done a good kick.
yeah.
If I was going to put my leg up onto a kitchen counter, I just have to take it off these days and just set it up there. So used to be, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Not in the same way, anyway.
Yeah, same. I don't stretch out enough. I don't stretch as much as I should. And these days I've done a lot more teaching than actually doing, so I need to kind of write that a little bit.
Yeah, because stretching's, even if you're bodybuilding, stretching is an important part of that too, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
So,
100%.
so, but you know what? I mean, I started back into the weights there a few months ago. And when I go straight from work to the gym, so I'm sort of like working time for stretching.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like it's great in practice, but unless you're actually doing that as a sort of not professional basis, but
I
if you have the time to stretch, go ahead.
Yeah, I sometimes
Or
will at night time just before bed I'll maybe stick on an audiobook and do some stretching for 15 minutes or something like that.
yeah,
Doesn't
or
always
even
happen, but
no, it doesn't. Everybody good. I have so many good intentions going to bed at night. 3 hours later, I'm still on the Instagram reels.
yeah,
That's how. And Komodo dragons. If I see a Komodo dragon eating a goat, that's me. I'm there.
you're hooked.
And then 3 hours later, I go, shit, I'm supposed to do that bloody,
You're
do another bit of that book and stuff.
you're as bad as those kids on the social media.
I am. But I mean, I swear, it's just I have this fascination with Komodo dragons, and I want a Komodo dragon alien in the books
Go for it. Do you know
at
what? You
some
need to
point.
have some kind of warrior, barbarian or something on a big
Yeah,
giant kimono dragon. Komodo. I
something
think
like
I said
that.
kimono dragon. Komodo
Kimono. No,
dragon.
I used to call it a kimono dragon. Say Komodo dragon. There's just something fascinating about them.
I remember watching.
And
I was watching a show about animals years ago, and one of the episodes was about a Komodo dragon and how they take down their prey, and it was fascinating.
I'm not.
He
That's
like
I might just have to bite them.
he bit a buffalo or something like that, and then the wound gets infected, and he just follows him around slowly for ages and ages
Yeah,
until he dies, and it's like,
and
Jesus,
then starts having a wee snack.
a wee
Yeah,
feed, yeah.
their slobber, the slobber in their mouths is full of bacteria,
Hmm.
including sepsis. And how they don't die themselves, like, it's crazy. Um, but one bite that is enough to infect you, and you are dead. There's no two ways about it, and that's why all them animals wander off and they follow the buffalo until they, because the sepsis now and the
Yeah.
poison goes through their bodies. It's fascinating to see, and they're much faster. There's a film on YouTube called Komodo. It is one of them sci-fi movie channels. It's actually one of the better ones because the effects are so good
Yeah.
about Komodo dragons. It is a great, entertaining wee movie. Um, but I just find it fascinating the wee goats be sitting there, seeing these Komodo dragons run, and like they're fast runners
Yeah.
down the path, and just sit there and look at it and go, you see a big lizard come and run towards us? It'll be all right. Not, it won't eat us. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Next thing, it's rah, rah, and then it runs, but it doesn't run away. It just runs 2 foot away and stands and looks at the dragon, goes, "You just try to bite me?" And then the dragon goes, "Yeah, see what happens now." And you're dead now. It's fascinating. They are fascinating animals.
Do you know what? In the new Final Destination, they need to work in a Komodo dragon.
Imagine.
Yeah.
But you know what it is? Do you remember the old movies like what Journey to the Center of the Earth? They always had dragon or lizards, Komodo, not maybe not Komodo dragons, but the lizards with the horns on their head
Hmm.
as dinosaurs. Do you
Yeah.
remember it was somebody's pet lizard? I
Yeah.
think that's where my fascination from it comes from, because that was what they used for dinosaurs in
Yeah.
all them old movies before Harry Ray Harry Ray. Oh,
Harryhausen.
I'm gonna embarrass me. Harryhausen, that's it.
Don't worry, I got
Before
your
he
back.
came along and oh, thank you, son. At Jurassic Park, it was, but that, and they were always under the earth because it was all under earth and in the old lost
Yeah, yeah.
civilizations, and that's I think that's for my fascination. But when you look at them and study them as actual animals, I mean, they're cannibalistic and everything. It's
Oh, are they?
crazy. Oh yeah, crazy. And you see three of them running towards you. That's it. Oh, well, you know what my situation, I'm screwed anyway. I couldn't outrun them.
I don't know if I could right now. I'm
But
not. I'm not as fit as I was, and as we said before in a previous episode, I'm low on vitamin D at the moment, so the energy's not quite there.
you'll get there. You get to stick out it's outside the back. You only need 20 minutes a day in the sun
Yeah, the
to
doctor
get your
gave me
vitamin D.
the doctor gave me this vitamin thing, and it gives me like my weekly dose. So I just take one a week, and it just powers me up with vitamin D.
That's there what you want. That's
Yeah.
what you want. Oh, here. I'm going to go off topic. I know we've got questions, but do you know what I did watch this week?
What?
Popeye the Slayer Man.
Oh Jesus! Oh,
When you when you mentioned about your vitamin D powering you up, I went, oh, the spinach.
spinach. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Some of those movies would be fucking really fun to do.
Do you know what?
Or would they? What was it like?
It's
Your silence
I'll
says it
never
all.
I'll never eat. It's crap. It is crap.
Right.
But I mean, I sort of think, I think it goes back to the old thing. If somebody sits in the room and says, I know what a good idea would be, let's put sharks in a tornado.
Mm. Do you know
If
what?
you're sitting in the room
A
and
lot,
go,
a lot of,
let's put,
a lot of terrible ideas start with. Do you know what would be cool?
yeah. So this one, somebody said, I know what'd be good. A Popeye the Sailor Man, kill people.
Yeah.
And it's either going to work or it's not going to work at the end of the day.
There's
Things
another one.
also
There's
depend on
there's a
budget.
whole slew of these public domain
Bam.
characters.
Yeah.
One that came out recently was Screamboat, which is Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie.
Mm.
Yeah. And you've got Bambi,
Yeah.
Bambi's Revenge.
You
You've
have
got
Winnie the
Winnie
Pooh,
the
Blood
Pooh.
and Honey. Yeah. You got a Pinocchio
Yeah.
one coming out.
Is there not three of them Winnie the Poohs, I think?
There's two, I
I think
think,
there's
done,
two and three.
and
Another one coming.
I think they're going to make a third one.
Yeah.
I haven't
So
seen
you've
any of
got
them
all
yet.
of them. I started Winnie the Pooh one and went, no,
Yeah.
like no. It's not, you'll never get that time back. So no. But
Okay.
yeah, so I
Final
got from
question.
my leg up, right, go.
No, go on. Finish your thought.
It's just interesting how we got from putting my leg on the kitchen counter to Bambi's Revenge. It was amazing.
Yeah. Maybe it'll come out that Bambi took your leg.
It wasn't, well, the Bambi that's in this movie wouldn't put it past him.
It's like Owen's dark backstory. Owen versus Bambi.
Yeah.
Right. Final question. What is your next release? Owen, take it away.
Mine is going to be When Angels Burn and Other Stories. It's another anthology for the Time Warriors. I just finished one finished one the night before, not one of the stories. At the minute, three of the stories are completed. There's six. There's six stories in total in this collection. And I'm working on the first one, and it's a bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. So I'm at the point where I'm sitting thinking, oh, maybe this is actually a novella for this particular story, The Wasting.
Yeah.
So we've got The Wasting. We've got Wasting, Magic Box, Comedian Dreams, Conversation with a One-Legged Man, not in any way
I can relate to
self-indulgent
that.
at all. Yeah, I can, and that's what it is. Actually, it's a bit of a therapy thing for me.
Right.
It's leading on to a story point, a new story arc for one of the other characters, but it's actually it is a bit of a therapy thing for me at the same time because of the way people look at you when you're
Right.
like me.
Okay.
It's not overly, oh, that sounds very somber and stuff. It's not really. It's just sort of like, listen, this is what really goes on in my head when you see somebody like me. Don't be afraid to say hello and stuff like that. Don't think we can't do this or
Yeah.
we can't do that.
That's one of
So we've
the
got When Angels Burn.
that's one of the
No,
great things about writing is you can just put your own life experiences in there and it can help you out in some way.
yeah, and it's also trying to sort of educate other people. Everybody thinks you're limited. You're limited in some ways, but in a lot of other ways, this has freed me up completely, as you know. Um, it doesn't really stop me doing a lot of things I want to do. So it's really that was part of it. But I just thought, if somebody has this other thing happen to them, how does somebody inspire them? So I just say, right, I'll show you what it is. So yeah, so you get the wasting, the meeting dreams, when angels burn, melon heads, secret of Eight Canyon, which sounds very Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, and conversation with a one-legged man are going to
Brilliant.
be the main stories for this next collection.
And
And after that, you've
when
got
is that out? When is that being released?
that one, with a bit of luck, or um, cover willing, it'll be Christmas, if
Lovely.
not before.
Okay, I'll be looking out for that one for sure.
It,
So
it's getting it's like it's just if it didn't have to do them normal things like work would be done much quicker.
pesky work.
But unfortunately, it's that bloody thing work that pays the bills that I have to that gets in the way. It'll be out much quicker. Probably doing two a year easily.
Yeah,
I could put a couple of omnibuses out of some of the best stories so far, which is an idea I was toying with.
yeah.
But after this one would be Sasquatch Darklands.
Mm.
Mm.
Right. So my next release is Miles and Mary Ashbury, a horror novel, um, in where Miles Ashbury, in the middle of a heated argument with his wife, stabs her in the neck, but she doesn't stay dead, and that's where our story begins. So I'm really excited to get that out. It's a little late. It was supposed to be about 3 months ago I released it, but things got in the way, and here we are.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to get it out. Donna Black has done an amazing job with the cover. I'm really happy with it, and that should be out in a couple of weeks. Miles and Mary Ashbury, and both of our work, myself and Owen, is on Amazon. So if you search for us there, you'll find some of our stuff. You can follow me on Instagram at Stephen Carey Stories. And Owen, where can people find you?
You can find me on Time Warriors and Beyond, uh, on Google, Instagram, Time Warriors author, and Facebook, Time Warriors author, and Threads and Twitter as well.
Perfect.
And if you're a publisher, me and Stephen are very interested to hear from you. Just saying.
Depends who you are.
Yeah, depends how big your wallet is as well. Sure.
Thanks.
We have we have the product. That's always that we have the product. Come get it.
um, thanks again for Owen for jumping on and helping me answer some very fun questions. Thank you to everyone
What's
who sent
grand?
in a question, and we shall be back soon enough. Bye bye,
Yeah.
everyone.
Good luck, everyone. Bye.